After a week off, I am back with my NASCAR Power Rankings post-Phoenix edition, and I leave for 1 week, and we might already have our first championship favorite of the season. Let's get right into it. Starting with Harrison Burton, who I have in last place here, 32nd. There is a rule on this channel that if you finish behind Cody Ware while running at the end of the race, then you are at the bottom of this list. Ty Dillon in 31st. I just want to give a huge shout out to Ty for always making his teammate look better. Not just better, but far better than him in comparison. This man is still behind Travis Pastrana in the point standings, despite having raced 3 more races than Travis. That's all I gotta say. That's all that needs to be said. Moving on to Cody Ware, who I have in the 30th position. I just want to give a huge shout out to him as well, as he has yet to finish last on my power rankings. In 29th place, I have Todd Gilliland, and he was in a Rick Ware car this week, so I don't think there's really much to comment on his performance this week. In 28th, I have Noah Gragson, and I really hate to be that guy, and I'm not being that guy because there's really no proof. There's no actual proof of me saying that I didn't think Noah Gragson was going to do that well this year, but I'm really not the least bit surprised in his performance. And the main reason for that is if you look back at his Xfinity season, his first season or two in Xfinity, even in trucks as well, he takes time to adjust to the series, a little too much time. Going on to the other rookie, Ty Gibbs. I mean, really, if you look at it, Noah Gragson's really just been one step behind Ty Gibbs pretty much all season. Ty Gibbs is definitely not living up to the standards that he has set for himself. And I'm not necessarily saying that's the standards I set for him. I'm not too surprised that I'm struggling. It's just a fact of the matter for any rookie that's joining the Cup Series. You look at Chase Elliott, you look at Joey Logano, you look at Kyle Larson. They all took time to adjust to the Cup Series. They weren't winning right away. And that's something that Denny Hamlin said on his podcast, but he said something a lot more interesting, I thought, as he actually talked with Ty Gibbs and, mentioned that Ty Gibbs is very frustrated with his performance thus far, and mentioned that he feels that Ty might have his bar set a little too high for what is possible in his first full-time season. And I don't want to give that usual spiel of Ty Gibbs is a spoiled brat, because I don't think he entirely is, but let's put it this way. He's used to winning in every series he's been in. You look at the Xfinity Series, didn't he win in like his first or second race at the Daytona Road Course? This guy is used to getting what he wants at all times. And when he gets to the Cup Series, he's now in the Cup Series, he's not getting what he wants all the time. I know it sounds really negative, but I really think that's kind of what Ty Gibbs is going to be going through throughout these next couple of seasons. He's not going to get everything he wants when he wants it. The Cup Series is really his real life. It's hitting him in the face. And what happens when you get something taken away from you that you're used to having? Typically anger follows, at least at your first reaction. So I would keep an eye on him, as he might ruffle some feathers in the garage. In 26, I have somebody who I definitely had high expectations for, and he is not living up to them so far. When you look at 2022, he came out the gates swinging with outstanding performances at Las Vegas and Auto Club especially, and so far it's just not hitting for that 43 team. Now, I'm not saying it's doomsday and it's over for the 43 team. It's just 4 races. It's a rough start. Hopefully that changes. In 25th, I have Justin Haley, somebody who I put my name on the line saying that he would break out this year, and last week it looked like he would. He broke out kind of with a top 10 finish at Las Vegas, but he backed up that top 10 with a 27th place finish. And it's still early, but he's making my prediction look a little bit rough. I mean, 4 races, way too early to call it a bust, but I would have liked it better than 27th place finish today. Austin Dillon in 24th just kind of feels like he's on autopilot. He got a better finish than what he ran all day at Phoenix. Dillon does this at times where he just is a non-factor. Then he'll get a top 10 within the next week or so, and we'll just think it back to normal. That's just how it is. Not every week's going to be a banger for him. Austin Cindric in 23rd, though, was another one who had a surprising top 10 at Las Vegas a week ago, but backed that up with a 25th place finish. Not really what you want to see backing up that. Was a complete non-factor all day, and he's young, he's developing. In 22nd, I have AJ Allmendinger, who has not quite come out of the gates as fast as I thought. Just wait for that first road course, though. I think that could definitely be the turning point for the 16 team. He's still kind of adjusting. When he was running that 16 car, he ran a couple ovals maybe, but a lot of it was short tracks. I don't know. I still have faith in AJ. Let's wait till this road course comes around and see where we're at after that. Ryan Preece in 21st, finally showing some signs of life. He was another one. I'd mentioned Justin Haley before the season I thought would be breaking out in the 41 this year. He's done absolutely nothing to this point, but that 12th place finish shows a pulse. But he is definitely making me look like a complete dumbass to this point. Corey LaJoie in 20th, his 3-race start with 3 top 20s comes to an end, but he had a great start to the year, and we cannot discount that. He's currently 18th place in the points. That's a great for 4 races in for the 7 team. I would venture to guess that at Phoenix, knowing that Atlanta, a track he has a chance to win at, is coming up, they're like, hey, but also he has a high chance of wrecking it. Like, hey, I want you to dial it back at Phoenix. It's been well documented that Spire is trying to build that program and they can't have wrecked cars. This means that at certain races throughout the year, they're like, hey, Corey, we just need a car to finish the race. Don't push it too hard. And I believe Phoenix might have been the first instance this season where Spire is like, all right, let's pull in the reins a little bit. Can't discount the top 20 streak he had to start the year, and hopefully he gets another streak started coming up at Atlanta. The Daytona 500 champ Ricky Stenhouse in 19th place, currently 15th in the points. A solid top 20 day from Ricky Stenhouse. Still kind of riding off that win. That's what's got him kind of this high. Sure to be a factor next week at Atlanta, though, so we could see him rise up that list. I wouldn't be shocked if he got another win. I mean, Ricky really has a chance to win at any superspeedway at any given time. Michael McDowell in the 18th position. Good 13th place finish at Phoenix. A good run for a team that, like others, hasn't necessarily come out to the start that I expected them to. Martin Truex Jr., though, has been just so mid. Like, I just don't know what to say about him except for his win at the Clash. He got to win at the Clash, and that's really the only notable thing he's done so far. I honestly don't know what to say. I'm sorry, 19 fans, but MTJ is in 17th. He hasn't been bad, but he just hasn't been good. And that's really all I can say. So in 16th, I have Chris Buescher, who, like his teammate, looked better than last year at this point, but his 15th place finish was somewhat disappointing when you look at their short track performance last season, and he looked better throughout the race than 15th. Regardless, he's always been hanging around that cut line. Can this be the year that he stays on the good side of that cut line? Joey Logano in 15th, finished 11th. Not bad, but if you look at that last race where he finished last, I don't think 11th was really an indicator of the day Joey Logano had. Chase Briscoe is up to 14th, no pun intended. Finished 7th in the race, currently 25th in the point standings, but a great top 10 finish at Phoenix, a track that he won at last year. But remember, this was the point last year that he just went, so doesn't have a win. Will he be able to get a win somewhere else, or will he be able to put together a good enough point season, if that's even a possibility, if we get 16 different winners? Will he be able to make the playoffs again and turn it on? I don't know. Maybe this top 10 is now a sign of a uptrend. We'll see. That SHR equipment has not been looking too hot this year, but it did look good. We had Harvick almost win the race. Like I said, Briscoe in the top 10 and Preece in 12th. That's 3 cars in the top 15. That's apparently a good day for Stewart-Haas Racing now. So you take what you can get at this point. Brad Keselowski in the 13th position. There's a little bit of a theme, and I mentioned it with Chris Buescher, and now with Brad Keselowski, that's kind of going with the RFK cars this year, is that they have speed. They have top 10 speed, both of them. And they just don't get the finishes. Today, he finished 18th. And that was not representative of the top 10 speed he had all day long. So the speed seems to be there somewhat. Now we just need to get the results, which is something I didn't think we would really have a problem with at RFK. I always thought it'd be, they'd get some results, but they wouldn't have the speed. Kind of a flip-flop from what we saw last year. Hopefully they can turn it around, though. Daniel Suarez in 12th here sees his top 10 streak come to an end, leaving just one driver left with top 10s in every race so far this season. It was a great start, though. A great 3-race start for Suarez. Don't let this get you down or anything like that. Just go back to it at Atlanta. COTA should be a decent race for him coming up. I mean, I believe, if I remember correctly, he was actually leading very early, and looked like the fastest car until he got spun at one point. So COTA should be a race that he's feeling pretty good about. Could be his first win of the year. Let's see what Suarez can do. He's got that contract feeling a little safe. He's got security. He seems to get better each year here at Trackhouse. Again, no pun intended, I have Denny Hamlin in 11th place here, finishing 23rd. A lot of drama off the track for Hamlin this week. Finished 23rd. He was up in that top 10 all day long and just knew he was going in the back. Decided to take Ross with him, but in Danica Patrick fashion, he didn't decide to, but ended up wrecking himself. Not wrecking, that's not a wreck, but ended up hurting himself just as much as he did Ross Chastain. In 10th place, I have Tyler Reddick, who skyrockets up the power rankings from last place in my week 2, race 2, whatever, power rankings. He is now in 10th place after just 2 races. A solid 15th place finish at Las Vegas and a great 3rd place finish at Phoenix this week. And he, was fast all race long, was in that top 10. At any time I looked, he was up there. So abysmal first 2 races. Hopefully this is the turning point for Tyler Reddick, and let's see him ascend to a win or so. COTA is probably going to be a decent track for him. He is a good road course racer. In 9th place, I have his teammate Bubba Wallace, who currently, I just realized I got Bubba in 9th, I got Tyler Reddick in 10th, teammates, and then the team owner, Denny Hamlin, in 11th. But anyways, that's not important. Bubba Wallace finished 14th, a decent day, but his top 5 last week was definitely worthy of vaulting him up to the top 10. 2 good races from Bubba. He currently finds himself 16th in the point standings. Can he make the playoffs this year? That's the major question. I think he can. Let's see if he will. Ross Chastain in the 8th place position had a decent finish going on until, like we mentioned with Denny Hamlin, it got taken away. He would have had a top 10, top 15. I'm not sure what strategy he was on. It's blanking me right now, but he did end up finishing 24th, so that makes him go down the power rankings a little bit, but it's been a great start to the year thus far. He's had fast cars each race. Had some shenanigans with old pal Denny. Maybe, hopefully, that is in the past. We know Ross is just going to be Ross, so that's definitely not going to be in the past, so we'll just see how that all plays out. Ryan Blaney up to the 7th place, just this short. Came very close, but once again, as we are very accustomed to with Ryan Blaney, he came up short. A lot of talk on him in the week I was gone. I would have loved to make a video or just talk about that. And I personally agree with those statements that he, at this point in his career, I'm not saying he can definitely change that. He can make us all wrong. But at this point in his career, I do view him as a Casey Kane type driver. Hopefully he can prove me wrong, but did nothing for that this week. Another opportunity to win that fell short. In 6th place, I have Kyle Busch here. A solid 8th place finish at Phoenix for him. It would be silly if you thought that he was going to just go back to old Kyle Busch where he is competing for every single win. I'm not saying that's impossible. I just think at a new team where the package is different, it's going to take a little bit of time. I think all in all, so far he's looked better in this 8 car than he did in the 18 car at all last year. Christopher Bell jumps his way back into the top 5 after 2 solid finishes the past 2 weeks, and taking the mantle as the most consistent JGR driver. I think he really earned that title last year, and he is just reinforcing that this year. I think there's conversations that need to be had about Bell being the man at JGR, if he isn't already. I don't know. I could just be me thinking he's not quite there yet. Other people might think he is the man at JGR. Technically, Ty Gibbs is always going to be the man, but as in the best driver. Speaking of the man, we have the closer, Kevin Harvick. I am heartbroken for him. I never thought I'd be saying that. I never used to be a big Kevin Harvick fan. I'm not necessarily a fan now, but it's his final season. I am rooting for him to get wins and add to his legacy in his final season. And he had a big chance of doing that at Phoenix. Not the result he wanted, but definitely a good sign of life from the Ford team. He is second in the points, so it's not like he's been awful or anything like that, but his back just has to be hurting from carrying that SHR organization like he has the past 5 years. Alright, now it is time to talk about the 3 Hendrick boys, starting with Alex Bowman, who was not quite as fast as his teammates at Phoenix this week, but got his 4th top 10 of the season, which leaves him as the only driver in the Cup Series so far to have top 10s in every race this season. We'll see how long that lasts, but that addresses one of the biggest issues I've had with Alex Bowman throughout his career is consistency. I have faith. I have faith this new crew chief. Bowman's currently first in the point standings, top of the points. Shout out to Bowman. Shout out to Blake Harris. This is one that I mentioned in my breakout video that I thought would break out this year, and I was the most certain of breaking out this year. And so far, well, he hasn't broken out for 4 wins or anything like that, which he already kind of technically has, but you get my point. He has kind of proved me right with his consistency thus far. Let's see if he can keep it up. But let's get to the two that have separated themselves from the field, starting with Kyle Larson, who could be first on this list had Phoenix finished just a little bit differently. Still, though, a 4th place finish when he should have finished 2nd or 1st is disappointing, to say the least. But let's be honest, this 5 car has looked bad fast, but Larson will get a win this year, will get wins this year. I'm very confident in that. And finally, here in first place, William Byron, my 3rd first place finisher. He probably honestly would have been first. He would have been 2nd, I think. I think Busch probably would have stayed first last week. But that doesn't matter. Byron is first now, winning his 2nd race in a row. He is the first multiple race winner of the 2023 season. And I mean, looking at how these last 2 races have looked, you know, he's been blazing fast. While I am happy for him, and I'm glad to see him doing well right now, there is a part of me that thinks he had a great start to last year. He had 2 wins early last year and then fell off the face of the earth for pretty much the rest of the season. So is this just another great start for Byron that turns into a summer slump? I don't know. I'm just saying, don't put all your eggs in the Byron basket at this point. We need to see him put together a full season before you can do that. And I'm not saying he has to be perfect every single race. I'm just saying, be patient. Alright, so before I end the video, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about some channel stuff. Right off the bat, I want to say that I'm getting rid of the race reviews. It just kind of felt redundant to me. They felt like, okay, I'm making a power rankings video 2 days later where I'm going to talk about the same stuff just in a little bit more detail with more drivers. Why not just wait till that power rankings video comes out so I can maybe not feel like I'm repeating the same stuff over? And you guys probably don't want to hear the same stuff repeated over and over again. So just go into the power rankings video. It makes it a little bit easier. You guys, it's no secret that I've been very inconsistent in posting on this channel, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to be a little more flexible in getting a post out there. So yeah, no race reviews. Hopefully you're not too heartbroken about that, but the power rankings will be here week in and week out. And I have other projects in the works. I said I was going to get that what if out. I hate to lie to you guys, but it just didn't work out. I was burning myself out trying to get that thing done and over with. So yeah, it's taken a lot more work than I anticipated. So hopefully the work is worth it. Hopefully it's something that you guys enjoy. I have faith that is something that you guys will enjoy. So yeah, it's coming soon. Don't get me wrong, but there's still a lot of work for me to do. And I better end this video so I can get to it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below your guys' thoughts on the power rankings. What did you guys think about my power rankings? Did you like them? Was I wrong? Tell me where I went wrong. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.